Good day, everybody. Welcome back to the flight deck. It is a beautiful red morning up here in Iqaluit, in the Canadian territory of Nunavut, where we're continuing our tour of Canada. As you can see, the sun is just starting to come up. It is almost 9 o'clock in the morning, and the joys of living near the Arctic Circle, they'll have about 4.5 hours of sunlight today, as the days slowly start getting longer. We're about 60 miles from the Arctic Circle, and today we're leaving the northernmost port of our tour, and we're heading south down to the airport of Goose Bay in Labrabor. So that should be a nice flight of just under 2 hours. We're flying the Air Canada 737 here. Never flew the 737-700, but we needed it after the Phoenix gave me some issues. So this is what we're now using. So let's get on board. We'll get the aircraft up and going, and it looks like Kevin is flying along. He's off behind us at the moment, the way we're looking, and we will see him shortly. All right, we are on board the aircraft. Just reaching over for my checklist, which the other crew left somewhere awkward. There we go. All right. So we're ready to start our pre-flight and before start checklists. So we'll come down here, make sure the parking brakes are set. We can pop up top now. The battery power switch is coming on. Standby power to auto and guarded. Emergency exit lights are armed and guarded. We're going to lean back. We'll get the dome lights on. And we can pop down here and signal them that we are clear for them to hook up the ground power. Which I have once again having issues with. Interesting. Haven't had this one in a bit. Let's see if I can yep, I'm gonna have to reload the aircraft by the looks of it, as we are not doing anything. Actually, let me try doing it this way. See if this will, the additional services are now available. See if we can hook up that way. Not sure if it will. May have to reload the aircraft anyway. Yeah, ground power is not coming in. Oh, sorry, chalk's removed. Let's get that ground power in now. That may do it. Yes, it did. Okay, that's weird. That's an interesting little thing. I wonder if that's a little conflict with GSX that's causing this. Could be interesting there. Yeah, see, it's still not giving me the options over on this side. Interesting. But we got ground power, so we can carry on getting the aircraft set up. So we'll get our position lights on, get our logo lights on, so it should be showing outside. Yep, positions and logos are good. There's Kevin sitting over there in his 737-600. All right, let's carry on. We'll get the lights up. And everything else should be okay as we go through. And this side. And we'll pop down and get the panel lights on. There we we go. And we'll pop all the way up top. And we'll get the alignment going. Wrong call sign. Ah, nice. All right, so they are aligning, and we will wait for that to come in. So while we're waiting on that, we can begin the passenger loading.
Boarding requested. Do you want to board crew?
No, we are already here.
Passengers bus is coming.
All right, so crew is on the way. We can carry on with our setup. So, passenger sides are on. Hydraulic pumps, electric are both on. Yaw damper is now on. Window heats on both sides are on. Left aft fuel pump is on. APU is on. As soon as we get the low oil pressure, we will start the APU. There we go. APU is starting. And we can pop down and take a look at our route. Alright, our route's pretty well laid out here. We are way up here on Baffin Island. We're going to be taking off, heading south down over the bottom of the island, down over the waterway here, over the northern part of Quebec here, and then down into Labrador, which is part of Newfoundland and Labrador, and down to Goose Bay, which is this area down here. Basically, we'll be doing the RNAV. The winds are split between the two runways. I took runway 26 because it is the longer of the two. Weather is marginal down here. It's looking very low ceiling, so I want to have the longest runway. And we'll be doing the RNAV down into Goose Bay. Flight time is approximately an hour and 48 minutes. And as per usual, we'll be having the in-flight entertainment and beverages and snacks available for the flight. All right, so with that done, the APU generators are now available. So we'll switch over to APU generators. APU bleed air is on, and the isolation valve is in auto. And left and right packs are coming on, and we'll start getting heat into the back of the airplane. It is currently -4 degrees here in Iqaluit. Not as cold as it could be, but definitely sub-zero. So there's the current weather. You can see winds are 140, 14 gusting 20, 15 miles of visibility, a few clouds with some broken layers, and -4 degrees. 2963 is the barrel, so we'll dial that in while we're sitting here. (2963) is set and cross-checked. All right, so down to the FMC we go. We already brought our plan in over here, so we can pop down and go through our procedure. So 737-700, engine rating 24K. Database is good to January 25th, and we can go into position initialization. We'll switch over here to our GPSs. It is the 30th even number. That means captain's side on the left. We'll grab the GPS coordinates and slot them in. Over to our route page, we're going to request our flight plan. That's CYFB, that's the old name of this area, Frobisher Bay, and we're heading down to CYYR, which is Goose Bay. Flight level of 380, cost index of 42, 676 miles. And our fuel and zero fuel weights are looking good, so we're going to set our payload, we'll set our fuel, clear the messages, and we're going to select this route. So we're waiting for it to come in now. Fuel is set. Again, not a long flight. I think most flights that head up here, they either fly out of Ottawa or Montreal, and they're direct. So they're about 4-hour, 3-hour flights. Alright, so we got the load message.
Hello, sir.
We'll upload our route. There we go. Activate and execute. Pretty much direct to a couple of waypoints and then a lat and long, since there's not a lot up this way for them to use. So for our departure today, we are going to be going out on runway 16 as the winds are 140. And we're going to use the ITRUS 1 departure. And then we will go back and do our arrival. As mentioned, we're going to do the RNAV on runway 26, and there is no star. However, we are going to use the initial point of, we'll use Scout just to give us some room. There is terrain in the area, so this will just put us out a little bit further. So over to our legs page. There's our departure out through ITRUS to Freddy, and then as we come in from this point, we're going to be going direct to Scout, which is the entry point for us on the RNAV, and down. So that's all looking good. Over to our performance initialization now. We'll bring in our performance numbers, and while we're doing that, we will pop over here and go into our performance tool for takeoff, and we'll enter that information in. Sounds like the passengers are all on board.
We are ready to go when you are.
All right. So CYFB is the airport we're at in Iqaluit. We are going to be departing on runway 16. That is all in now.
Welcome aboard. This is your flight
Runway length.
At this time, please be sure to make sure all large carry-on items are in the overhead bins and your small items are underneath the
There's our weights, and CG is in. Weather will bring in as well. That is set, and we will calculate
if the overhead bin is full,
for our
please
departure.
close it as a courtesy to other passengers.
So as you see,
Please
we're going to be
double-check that all your items are
pretty
put
good
away
here.
so that the aisle is clear and other passengers can make their way to their seats.
TO2
If you're in an
takeoff, so
emergency exit row,
I
please
was thinking
leave
we're pretty
exit
good.
responsibilities in the card in the seat back in front of you. If you're not able to comply with these
On the
actions,
distance.
please let a flight
Excellent.
attendant know so that way you can be received. Feel free to
So you
use
can
your
come down
cell
and
phones during
enter
the rest of the
some of the
boarding process,
information
but
in.
we do ask that laptops, tablets, and any other larger electronic devices
So our
are
gross
still
weight is
once you
set, planned
depart.
fuel 7.8
Thank you, and
tons,
welcome aboard.
reserves are 3, cost index of 32. It's got a flight level of 39. We're going to change that to
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard Flight 5556.
381. Give
Our
us
flight time will be roughly
3-8.
1 hour and 48 minutes. Now that the cabin door is closed,
We're actually
please
heading
make sure that all
eastwards.
devices
We
are
are going to
in
go up to
airplane mode and the
39.
large devices are now shut down and stowed. Please fasten your seatbelt and make sure that all tray tables and seat backs are in a full upright and locked position for departure. Flight attendants, please prepare
So
cabin for
transition
departure and
altitude
cross
is fine. We'll execute that. 39. We'll go 3.8 initial. We'll see how the aircraft is handling, and then we'll either go 3.7 or 3.9. That's fine. N1 limits. So using the calculator that we have here, we have a cell temp of 43 degrees. We'll enter that in. It wants us doing a TO2, D-rated takeoff. And we can come over here. It's going to be a flaps 1. Center of gravity is set. 5.35. Doesn't give us the takeoff length remaining. I'll put in 1,100 feet. We'll put the winds in. It's 140 at 14. Back over to the page, and that's going to give us a 129, 129, and 133. Nice cold air up here helping with that. There we go. So that is now all entered in. And the bags and everything else are on board. Come out here, take a look. Oh, got some beautiful red light on the clouds here. Yep, bags and everything are on board. Looks like we're hooked up to the stand here for power. Oh, look at that sunrise. That is looking awesome. All right. Altimeters are set 2963. We'll kind of come over to our transponder. We'll go 2000, generic North American IFR code. Fueling, loading, boarding is complete. We'll quickly run through our in-op test. There's our master caution and our illumination on the lights. We'll do our fire test. Fire warning, master caution, recall, and lights, and audible alarm, and our system test. While that's happening, we'll pop up top.
Pull up.
I'm going to go 38,000 for our cruise.
Wind shear. Terrain. Pull up.
Airport elevation here is 150 feet, so we'll enter that in case we have to return. There's 150 feet. Final test is happening down here. MCP. Runway heading is 161. Make sure that's dialed in. Initial airspeed is 133 plus 10, so 143. And we're going to go right up to 38,000 feet. And again, once we get there, we'll pick either 39 or 37 for our cruise. The reason I'm going 38 actually is because I got pack set up for a cruise, so if I don't level off at 38, it won't trigger it being in cruise. Alright, flight directors are coming on. Both sides and the radios. So we're going to go 122.8, and we'll do a radio check. And on COM 2, 121.5. Dial that down. There we go. Iqaluit Terminal, Air Canada 5556, radio check.
How many for North Air 793 or 797?
Both of you are loud and clear.
Both of us.
Christian, hello. Welcome. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for popping in. Haven't seen you for a while. Hope you're having a good holiday season over there. Alright, so the radios are set. Once again, we can come over here. We can do a doors check. Well, I hope we can do doors check. Let's see what it says. Doors are all closed. We'll remove the chocks. We'll release the ground power. Remove the chocks. And we'll get ready for start and push. Anti-collision light can come on. As mentioned, there is no ATC here. You're glad the feast is over. And we are good to go. So we're going to 216. We're going to go tail to our right, nose to our left. So let's call in for the push. Yeah, let's
The
de-ice.
icing vehicles are coming now.
It's been cold, a lot of cloud, probably some frost on the wings. So here comes our de-icing vehicles, and while that's about to happen,
Iqaluit traffic, another 797.
APU
taxiing
bleeds
to
are now off.
de-icing via Van 1, apron 1 and apron 2.
we'll de-ice on the stand. I think Kevin said he's going to taxi over. That's fine. You just found an exciting new mod for F. Oh, really? Care to share what it does? Be interesting to know what it is.
Confirm aircraft is ready for treatment.
Yeah, bleeds are off. We're all good. So we're going to go type 1 and 75%.
We begin treatment now and observe. Fluid type 1. Concentration at 75%. I will call you back when ready.
So the type, there's two types. I've mentioned this before, although we don't do de-icing that often. There's two types of fluid they use. First type is for snow removal. So if we actually had snow-covered wings and fuselage, they'd spray it on. Oh, that's loud. Let's get inside. They would spray it on and remove all the snow and ice from the aircraft. The second type is what they spray on to prevent new snow and new ice from forming. That's the stuff that only lasts for about 30 minutes. Dynamic LOD. Oh! That sounds cool. So, I know you said you're in testing now. What do you think? Does it look favorable, promising? You can manually change. Is there another way of doing it? Say if it picks up on frame rates or anything like that? See, he was spraying the orange fluid. It's very common to see the aircraft with this orange fluid dripping off them as they head for the runways.
De-icing and anti-icing completed. Anti-icing code is fluid type 1. Concentration at 75%. I'm disconnected. Good day.
So it seems like they're doing a combined de-ice. So the actual de-icing pad is over there, so that's where Kevin's headed. And we are done here.
Due to icing conditions,
Trucks are leaving. We're getting ready to go. So again, we're going to go tail to our... Let's look at it this way. Tail to our right and nose to the left. We're now coming in to hook up.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Alright, so we'll get them into the pushback position. So we can turn the bleeds back on. Fuel, we have no fuel in the center tanks.
Departure checks completed.
So we'll
Bypass
turn the
pin
fuel
inserted.
pumps on. Probably going to have us wait until push is complete before engine starts. So we'll leave the packs running. Yeah, that's a good idea. Load it up, see how she does.
Locking gear.
There's Kevin down on the de-icing pad. There we go. So we're going to go tail right, nose left.
Release parking brakes.
Iqaluit area traffic, Air Canada 5556, stand 5, push and start facing
Release
north.
parking brakes.
Brakes released.
Commencing push. Due to icing conditions, please stand by until push is completed and brakes are set.
Alright. So we got 30 minutes. We'll be down before that. Oh, that's cool. That sounds like a very flexible mod. Well, good luck with the testing. I'd be really interested to know on how it works and how you found it. Now we should end up on the taxi line back here. This airport, by the way, is not a add-on. This is one that they did when they did the Canada update, and that looks pretty nice actually. You got the buildings. There's Canada North or Canadian North building over there. There's the main terminal. Some of the other outbuildings and stuff. There's the community up on the hill and down over this way. Maintenance facilities and stuff. And across the way here is the military side. They have a little bit where they do some work out of for surveillance and border patrol and Arctic sovereignty stuff. Yeah, I could use it. I know some of the bigger airports that where I have intensive airports and with traffic, London, Toronto, San Francisco, stuff like that. I can see my system starting to struggle slightly. So, yeah, it would be really handy.
Item. Make sure your seatbelts are fastened.
Looks
and
like we're
seat backs
here.
and tray tables are in their full upright position. We remind you that this is a
Parking brake.
non-smoking flight.
Alright, parking brakes are set. We are good for engine start. So, coming up top, fuel pumps are all on. Beacon is confirmed on. Packs are coming off. And we are now good for engine start. So, starting engine number 2. We have start our N1 rotation. Sit here and listen to her kickoff.
Iqaluit traffic, North Area 797, de-icing complete, taxiing to Holy Point Alpha, runway 16, taxiing by apron 2 and apron 1.
Sounding good. There's Kevin finished down there on the de-icing pad. So should get starter cutoff. There we go. Good engine start. So coming over to engine number 1. Ground start. N1 rotation. Adding fuel. Engines are starting. We should get starter cutoff at about 18 to 19%. Good start. There's starter cutoff. We'll let them know.
Cockpit to ground.
And
we
back
have a
up
good
top we
engine
go.
Start. You can disconnect.
So generators 1 and 2 are both on. Engine 1 and 2 start switches will now go to continuous. Probe heats are on. Engine anti-ice not required at the moment. It's not snowing or anything out, and we're not in cloud. Engine bleeds 1 and 2 are on. Packs left and right to auto. Recirculation fan to auto. Isolation valve to auto. APU bleed is off. APU is now off. Flaps 1 for takeoff. Elevator trim 5.35. 5.35 set.
Tow truck disconnected.
Quick flight control
Bypass
check.
pin removed.
Full left, full right, neutral,
Left
full
is clear.
forward, full
Right
back,
is clear.
neutral, full left, full right. Rudder controls are free and correct. Engine instruments are good. VNAV heading select, auto throttle
We're ready for
on.
departure.
Warning recall, cabin is ready. Where is she? Oh, there she is. Get the wave. There we go, and we'll give her the thumbs up. And we are good to go. So taxi light will come on, auto brake will go to RTO. And we're waiting for her to get out of the way. Iqaluit area traffic, Air Canada 5556, taxiing holding point Alpha for runway 16 via apron 1 Alpha. Alright, brakes released. Get that sun coming up. It's going to be a beautiful sunrise departure. So got some wonderful color on the sky. So we'll get to the holding point. We'll run through our final pre-departure checks and then set up for departure. No aircraft in the vicinity, so we are not too worried about other traffic at the moment. And the cabin said they were ready to go. Alright, as we pull up here, we'll do our fuel test, which should be equal on fuel flow. V speeds are set, 129, 129, 133. MCP nav data and radios are set. So landing lights will come on. Taxi light is on. Iqaluit area traffic, Air Canada 5556, taxiing runway 16, backtracking from Alpha. We'll get strobe and steady. We'll get our wing lights on. We'll get our transponder on. And then we're going to backtrack. A little bit of power. We are traveling uphill here. So position lights, strobe and steady. Taxi lights are off. Landing lights and turn off lights are on. Transponder is on. TCAS is, or traffic mode is on both sides. Runway is identified. And turning circle is on the left up ahead. You can also lean back and kill that dome light. turning circle. And we'll use the whole thing here. The aircraft around. Nice and tight. I'll have to work the brake here. Sim aircraft don't like doing this. Go, and we'll line her up as the sun breaks the horizon. Very nice. All right, we are lined up and ready to go. So engines to 40%. Cabin ding. Iqaluit area traffic, Air Canada 5556, departing runway 16, departure to the southeast. Alright, brakes released.
And Iqaluit traffic north there.
Takeoff power set.
797, short 16, Alpha behind, the passing traffic behind. Run to position 165, back check, start passenger service.
Airspeed's live. Check. Hey, that's great news, Christian.
VT. Positive rate of climb.
You're up. Positive rate, flying the flight directors. Let's come over here now. We'll go Command A, VNAV, and we will go direct to our first waypoint. And there we go. And there's the sun rising. Looking great. Automatically changed. That's nice. That's really nice. I could use that. Flaps up. Alright, so autopilot is on, auto brakes are off, gear lever is off. Engine start switches are both off. Runway turn-off lights off. Wing lights off. Logo lights off. Flaps are retracted. Cabin is pressurizing. And we are on our way up. There's Kevin down at the end of the runway. And we are climbing out in this beautiful sunrise. Nice to see the sun. Most of our flights over the last couple months have been in darkness. I'm going to add a little bit of light in here because it is slightly dark. Sun just coming up.
cover static Miller 797, rolling Miller 16, departure to the 30th.
Climbing that, look at that climb, 3,500 feet per minute. Yeah, this cold air is really, really nice for the aircraft. Doing a bit of a rocket climb here. I'll just go at one more just so we can see where we are. There's 10,000 feet. The landing lights retract. Come on, there we go. Retracted. To release the seat belts in the back. We'll let them know we're through 10,000. Yeah, Christian, let me know on the Discord how it works and if you think it's worth it, where I can pick it up. Thanks for dropping by.
This is also a reminder to please keep your seatbelt fastened while you're seated and do not congregate in the galleys or near the lavatory. This aircraft is equipped with onboard Wi-Fi. If you wish to connect to the Wi-Fi,
we're climbing through transitions, so we'll switch over now.
For internet access. We do offer complimentary in-flight TV thanks to our partners. Connect to the Wi-Fi and you'll be able to access our wide range of free live TVs and Case Movies library. Off the fasten seatbelt sign.
Alright, we are climbing up very nicely.
However, we ask that you keep your seatbelt fastened when seated.
Kevin's up behind us. And we're looking good as we head down the northeastern coast of Canada. We're going to be leaving Baffin Island shortly. We're still over it at the moment. And then we'll cross the waterway and over to the mainland. Well, I'm going to go have to make First Officer Nala her breakfast. So I think we're going to go on this side. We should get some nice views of the terrain as we come flying through. So we're going to set up the in-flight entertainment and let you guys sit back, relax, and enjoy. I'll be back to brief the arrival into Goose Bay, and I'll be in the chat as well. See you in a bit.
Ocean, forming a chain which extends about 1,200 miles west-southwest from Alaska Peninsula towards Siberia to form the southern boundary of the Bering Sea. The Aleutians comprise 4 groups, the Fox, Andreanoff, Rat, and Near Islands, and constitute part of the territory of Alaska, USA. Of volcanic origin, there are numerous cones on the chain, many of them still active. The coasts are rocky and surf-worn, rising immediately from the water in steep, bold mountains. The Aleutians are the storm pot of the Western world. A permanent low-pressure area prevails there. Cold air masses from the polar regions flow with a shearing effect against the warm, moisture-laden air masses over the Japanese current to form cyclonic disturbances. Because of the Earth's rotation, these disturbances move from west to east, and this meteorological phenomenon constitutes one of the most dangerous weapons in the arsenal of our enemies, for it enables the Japanese to operate behind the moving curtain of a storm. In the early days of June 1942, they employed this advantage in an all-out attempt to secure absolute domination of the entire Pacific Ocean. Behind eastward-moving storms, they dispatched 2 invasion fleets against 2 widely separated objectives, Midway Island and Dutch Harbor, an operation designed to break the American line of sea defense upon which the security of the Pacific coast depends. Both attempts failed. American air forces engaged the enemy task force at Midway, achieving an historic victory, and at Dutch Harbor, American land-based planes from secret American airfields swarmed down, seemingly out of nowhere, to knock out 1, 2 troop-filled transports, 3 heavy cruisers, 2 destroyers, and 1 aircraft carrier. In pursuit of the enemy, our Army and Navy airmen flew through storm and fog and hurricane, 1/5 on instruments, 4/5 on luck, 20 hours out of 24 sometimes, through blind passes, by uncharted peaks, down through zero ceilings, not knowing whether the enemy fleet or a mountain lay below, sweating it out for hour after blind hour of continuous flight, at home without benefit of directional beam, to land on unlighted runways, refueled, and take off into gray, blind hell. There is no monument to the many who went out and did not return. They fought and patrolled, in many instances, until their fuel was gone, knowing they would be forced down at sea, but unwilling to break off contacts they had made with enemy forces. Few are alive of those that flew against the Japs in the Battle of Dutch Harbor. If you wish to see their monument, you Americans here at home, look around you. In retiring, the remnants of the defeated Japanese task force landed troops on the undefended islands of Attu, Agatu, and Kiska. We immediately undertook the offensive. So commenced our march out along the bridge toward Asia. In late August of 1942, a large detachment of our troops landed on an island several hundred miles out along the chain, and under 2 hours by bomber from Kiska. The name of this island is Adak, and it is closer to Japan than any other American outpost. Typical of the Aleutian chain, it is windswept, treeless, rain-soaked, carpeted with sphagnum, a flat, spongy vegetation like undersea growth, which oozes water at every step. The only bird life on the island is scavenger ravens, big, black, wind-ruffled. Remote as the moon and hardly more fertile, Adak is next to worthless in terms of human existence. Its sole value is that of a pin on a staff officer's map, but that value is measureless. Strategically, Adak is one of the most important locations in the world. 11 days after the occupation, an airfield was completed, and the first U.S. bomber sat down. 3 days later, flights took off on a bombing mission to Kiska, with complete fighter protection. Since that time, missions over Kiska have become a daily affair. The airfield is the heart of the island, beating with a 500,000 horsepower of heavy and medium bombers, Navy amphibians, pursuit ships, transports. The sound of the engines warming up starts before dawn, echoing back from the mountains that flank the field. Every day, weather permitting, the bombers take off on at least one mission. Often on good days, a first flight takes off in the sunrise, others following at regular intervals, so that Kiska's under bombardment every hour until nightfall. Equal in importance to the airfield, and without which the airfield could not exist, is Adak's excellent harbor. Landlocked on three sides with a natural island breakwater, it enables heavy draft vessels to come inshore and unload by lighter under almost any weather conditions. If the airfield is the heart of Adak, the harbor is its hungry mouth. Its demands are ever on the increase. By day and by night, freighters, tankers, transports deposit munitions, supplies, men upon the beach. Standing guard over all the defense installations, coastal batteries, anti-aircraft emplacements, machine gun posts. There is nothing vulnerable about Adak any longer. The skies are constantly circled by aerial patrols and never-ending relays. PT boats, those seagoing-in fighters, stand by in readiness for a surprise landing attempt. Offshore, destroyers keep endless vigil, slipping like ghosts through the falls, challenging each hull-down speck of an approaching vessel on the horizon, listening with their undersea ears to the beat of an engine, scanning the seas with the plume of a periscope, standing rugged duty in the Bering Patrol, or slipping into port on the flank of a convoy. Although the sea lanes to Adak are constantly traveled by convoys, and contact with enemy submarines is a daily occurrence, sinkings in these waters have been few and far between. Contact with an enemy submarine may continue on and off for hours, during which the undersea craft maneuvers for position to attack, venturing within the radius of the convoy's undersea detectors, only to crash dive, then kill engines and lie silent on the bottom as our destroyers bear down and release depth charges. Our destroyers and Navy reconnaissance have held the undersea enemy well in check. The flow of men, munitions, and supplies flows ceaselessly on. The gigantic task of furnishing every American expeditionary force with the materials needed in carrying the fight to the enemy falls to the Army Service Forces. ASF is the bloodstream of our whole military body, maintaining its every organ and muscle. Adak presents a special problem, as the barren island furnishes nothing toward human needs save drinking water. Everything else must be brought here. Food, fuel for men and motors, machinery, munitions, shelter material. Raise these basic requirements to the nth power. Add parts and replacements for everything from Caterpillar tractors to can openers, plus the operations of estimating, purchasing, assembly, transporting, delivery, and becomes apparent why the job of supplying a military force is now dignified by a $12 word like logistics. Since the original landing, the manpower of Adak has been constantly augmented. Where before it was hundreds, now it is thousands. Troops arrive after a voyage that may take anywhere from a week to a month, depending on the sea route. But it took more than a single month to land them here. The months of training that toughened them to rigors of wind and weather, that taught them to handle their weapons, that made them into soldiers. Add those months to the period of the voyage from the States.
Flight meal service. Please look into the back menu, and one of our crew members will stop by shortly for your order. If you would like to order additional menu items, please hit the flight attendant call button at any time, and we'll be over shortly to assist.
On ADAC, down-eastern accents mixed with Texas drawls and Middle Western twangs and Brooklynese. Bookkeepers, grocery clerks, college men, and dirt farmers. That is, of course, ex-dirt farmers, ex-bookkeepers, ex-college men. Soldiers now, as though all their lives they'd been nothing but. Orders for the day, special orders and news appear on the bulletin board. Since newspapers and magazines are usually from a month to 3 months out of date, these radioed news flashes are the only means by which the soldier knows what's going on outside. No fresh meat, no green vegetables, powdered eggs, tinned bully beef, potatoes, canned tomatoes, peanut butter, canned fruit, and coffee make up the basic diet. And biscuits, barrels full of biscuits. Appetites are huge. Officers and men attend the same mess. As often as not, an officer doesn't display the insignia of his rank. The salute is reserved for rare occasions, but discipline does not suffer. Customary military formality is relaxed, plain, simple necessity taking its place. After months in an outpost like ADAC, there is a tendency on the part of the soldier to think and live only in terms of the present. That faraway world from which he came begins to seem like a dream to him. A letter in his hand is proof of the reality of that world, of Saturday night dances, jalapenos and ice cream sodas, sport pages, shaving in the same mirror with the old man. A letter means more than his paycheck to the soldier. If he happens to be in the Air Corps, he'd gladly make an extra flight over Kiska for one more letter. No moving pictures, no stage door canteens or USO, no girls, pretty or otherwise. Nothing to drink, not even a Coke. Candy bars, cigarettes, and chewing gum are rations, but you never hear any bellyache. The extraordinary fact is that morale actually gets stronger the closer troops come to the enemy. On ADAC proper, morale is first rate. The site of the airfield was originally a shallow tidal lagoon. Army engineers diked up its inlet and drained off its waters by means of a channel to the sea. It was their resourcefulness in exploiting a natural formation which made possible the completion of the field in 10 days and 11 nights, for the work never ceased. Bulldozers shifted thousands of tons of the lava ash which composed the bed of the lagoon. Not a new game of the Corps that built the Panama Canal. As the waters receded, grading crews followed, leveling and impacting the area in preparation for the final surface. This surface was not to be the usual concrete runway of an airport, but a steel one, whose sections had been prefabricated in American mills. It was put down by the infantry, of course, in 36 hours. then on, only the severest weather kept our planes grounded. Local storms materialize, deluge the island, and pass on or dissipate, all within a few short minutes. It's a land of cloudbursts and rainbows. If you don't like the weather, wait a minute, the soldier says. Everything the weatherman has to offer may be had in a single day. Downpours, hurricane winds, hail, snow, fog, sleet, and sunshine. It is not so much bad weather as changing weather that makes flying hazardous to the uninitiated there. A new pilot must learn to side slip through local squalls and sit her down in a field rimmed by mountains and under a half foot of water. Percentage of casualties, however, occur in the anti-aircraft fire over Kiska. As a rule, our bombers make it back, but often they are sorely crippled and wounded or dead aboard. The day's mission is the highlight of each 24 hours. Eyes turn skyward and ears strain for the faint beat of approaching engines. At the first sound, an alert is flashed to the ground defense. Units clear for action. Anti-aircraft and machine guns are stripped. Ammunition broken out, and everything is put in readiness for an enemy who may be tailing our flights home. Bombers went out, and 6 are coming back. A first ship lands. The remainder circle the field, another coming to Earth each time around. Those damaged or with wounded aboard taking priority. It's a revelation how much punishment one of these big bombers can take and still navigate. Unless both sets of controls are shot away or an explosive shell finds the gas tank, the odds are all in her making it safely home. Anyone who's been over will tell you that the most wonderful ride in the world is the ride back from Kiska. No matter if two engines have conked out and daylight is pouring through the wings, there's just something about the scenery on the way home. Crews proceed to the field operations tent of the Bomber Command, where they will be questioned as to results and observations. Their jigsaw reports, taken singly, are compared and cross-checked until a complete and accurate record of the operation has been assembled. Thereafter, they're dismissed, with nothing to do till tomorrow but eat, drink, and be merry.
I've got sixpence to last me all my life. I've got tuppence to spend, and tuppence to lend, and tuppence to send home to my wife. No cares have I to grieve me, no pretty little girl to deceive me. I'm as happy as a king, believe me, as we go rolling home. Rolling home, rolling home, rolling home, rolling home, by the light of the silvery moon.
But ADAX tomorrow begins today with a directive from Kodiak Island, the intelligence center. A photographic ship accompanies missions to Kiska. It's tasked to follow the bombers over their target, recording the immediate results of bombardment, also enemy defense activity, new installations, camouflage. These photographs are studied by specialist interpreters and submitted with comments to the General and the Staff Officer, Colonel William Prince and Colonel C.M. McCoy. Here is Kiska, her camp area, with steel huts, her hangars, her underground railway, her gun installations. Kiska, one of the hottest spots on the earth, or above.
The main objectives in any mission from ADAC are the destruction of enemy shipping en route to Kiska, destruction of installations on the island, harassing of enemy personnel.
When the broader aspects of the operation have been decided upon, the senior officers of the bomber and fighter units work out its details. Among considerations in planning a mission are the type of aircraft to be employed, the weight and type of bombs, the time, altitude, and direction of the attack. All of these are interrelated, a change of one influencing all the others. The overall determining factor is weather. For this reason, the Navy meteorologist plots his charts up to the very time of takeoff. A change of weather at the last moment may mean a complete revision of tomorrow's plans. Tomorrow is Sunday. At their outposts on the island, Catholic, Protestant, and Jewish chaplains, not priests, ministers, or rabbis, but chaplains, all, are leading fighting men in their devotion. Under the snows of the Aleutian Mountains, these defenders of the faith exercise the first of their four freedoms. But so far as the business of war is concerned, Sunday on ADAC is like any other day. There's a mission going out at 13 o'clock. Bombs must be brought down to the field in their camouflage dumps. A heavy bomber carries either 16 250 pounders, 12 500 pounders, or 8 1,000 pounders. The size of the bomb to be employed depends upon the nature of the target. Since if the target is small, there's a better chance of hitting it with a salvo of 250 pounders than with a single large bomb. On the other hand, in congested areas, such as the campsite at Kiska, a blockbuster comes into its own. Tail fins and fuses are put on directly before the assembled bomb is hoisted into the bomb bay. When the time comes, bombs can be released either individually, in sticks, or in salvos. Belts of ammunition are brought to machine guns and fed into receivers ready for firing. The rounds are put onto the belts in successions of cleans, red tip tracers, yellow incendiaries, and black regulations. Each moving part of each gun has been tended with watchmaker's care, and every belt of ammunition is cleaned, oiled, and checked before the takeoff. It is 12:40 o'clock, and the pilots who are going to fly the mission receive final instructions.
3 flights, 2 of B-24s and 1 of B-17s are to go over the target. First flight at 1,100 feet to drop 500-pounders on anti-aircraft installations at North Head. Then to proceed along the coastline, strapping to the western limits of the camp area. The second flight at 7,500 feet to drop 1,000-pound bombs on the camp area. The third flight at 4,500 feet to destroy hangars with 500-pound bombs. Second and third flights to follow at intervals of 45 seconds. 3 fighters to precede each bomber flight at 600 feet, and 3 fighters to afford overhead protection from enemy aircraft.
Crews begin to assemble around the ships, awaiting the appearance of their officers. A bomber crew is a team, and the longer it's together, the better the teamwork. Theirs is a mutual responsibility. The safety of the ship and the lives of all the others may depend on any single member. Trust, respect are implicit in such a relationship if it is to endure. Maybe in the beginning you don't like the color of a guy's hair, but if he's all there at his job, you'll get to like it fine. Enlisted men eat, sleep, fly together. Their voices on the intercom become familiar, easy to understand, and understanding is vital. Every gunner knows the quality of every other's marksmanship and courage. The navigator can plot a 1,000-mile course over open sea and make a landfall. 8 men can testify. Trust and respect for the bombardier, the radio operator, the engineer, co-pilot, and trust and respect for the ship they fly. A monument ought to be put up to that pre-war fraternity of high school speed maniacs, for out of their ranks our fighter pilots are largely drawn. They bring to their hazardous undertakings split-second judgment, inspiration, daring. Lieutenant George I. Riddell, 12 strapping missions over Kiska. Lieutenant Hawley P. Mills, 14 missions. Lieutenant Lyle A. Bean, 13 missions. Major Milton Ashkin, 15 missions. Lieutenant Henry J. Strankowski, 11 missions. Colonel Jack Chennault, son of General Chennault of the Flying Tigers. Colonel Jack has a 0 on a submarine to his credit. A last-minute weather observation is made. The word is given to go. It's good luck and over the hill. The aerial camera goes aboard. The bomber pilot informs his crew the exact part their ship is to play in the mission. Your bomber pilot is of a different breed to your fighter. Where the fighter is reckless and inspired, the bomber pilot is responsible, determined. Because of the size and imponderability of this ship, there are no last-moment decisions for him. And besides the big, intricate, costly piece of machinery that a heavy bomber is, he has the lives of 6 or 8 others to think about. 100 men, 9 bombers, 12 fighters, are setting out to attack and immobilize 10,000 men behind naval and military defenses. This is the significance of aerial supremacy. But behind this supremacy lies the enormous system which makes it possible for the ships to take off. ASF, Naval Convoy, Army Air Transport, the Corps of Engineers, Army and Navy intelligence, signal corps, ordnance, and ground forces. These have done their part for today. The stage is set. Rehearsals are over. The actors are ready. The curtain is going up. But this is no make-believe drama. They will be playing for keeps. Who sat the first bomber down on ADAC and led the original mission over Kiska. Of engines makes the earth tremble and the ravens rise. The echelon proceeds toward Kiska. It's about an hour and 3/4 from Adak to Kiska, one of the most hotly defended of enemy-held areas. Kiska is also one of the most strongly fortified. The Japs have dug in like so many moles. An estimated force of 10,000 goes underground at the sound of our approaching engines. We cannot, by air attack, hope to annihilate. We can only harass the force on Kiska. cripple the island's defenses, keep the enemy from adding to its resources, while we build our own fighting strength to the day and the hour when we shall undertake a landing operation. Radio contact is maintained between the bombers and ADAC throughout the flight, which proceeds at military speed, 165 miles per hour. First part of the journey, the waist guns are swung into position. Turret mechanisms tested, and trial rounds fired. Time moves slowly going out to the target. Crew members have even been known to play stud poker. The route is quite familiar by now. Many pilots and crews have made the flight 25, 30 times. Along about the time Amchitka is sighted, they begin to look out for enemy planes. The men whose regular job it is say no matter how often a fellow's gone over, he always feels funny up there over Kiska. At a signal from the squadron leader, the pilots will open throttle, and the planes will go into the bombing run. For a minute and a half to 2 minutes, they will proceed at level flight in an absolutely straight line toward the target, thereby enabling the bombardier to make his computations: wind velocity, speed, temperature, altitude, drift. There can be no deviation whatever in the flights if the bombs are to find the target.
10 miles and 3 minutes from the objective.
Before Kiska Volcano, the mission deploys, each flight going to its designated altitude in preparation for the run. The enemy will endeavor to throw the flights off their runs, and to this he will bring all his firepower to bear. The earth below will blaze with hatred. Our ships will heave and rock in the Yakak. Machine gun bullets may make a filigree at their wings. High explosives may open up holes big enough for a man to crawl through. Little Kiska, outer defense of Kiska Harbor.
Bomb bay doors open. Bomb bay doors open. 6 degrees right open.
The object is to hit the target, not to avoid anti-aircraft. Remember this, you're just as liable to run into it as away from it. The best way is to forget what's happening outside and make the run by instruments. That way, if it comes, well, you just look over your shoulder and see a man with a long beard, and you say, "Good morning, Father Abraham."
I want every man to stick by his gun until I say he can leave. Use every round of ammunition on this ship. Fire straight at the gun flashes until they stop. If we're hit and have to bail out, there'll be plenty of Navy around to pick us up. Okay, shall we give it to them?
Kiska. Third flight at 4,500 feet.
On the way. Here it goes. On the way. Check in, 1000. Okay. 600. Okay. Radio in. Okay. Turret. I gotta plug in more, but I'm okay. Fully turret. Okay. Okay.
Just as hangars are destroyed, burning, our bombs found the target. 9 bombers came out, and 9 are going home.
welcome back to the flight deck. We're about 80 miles from top of descent, so it's time to start going through our stuff and get ready for our arrival into Goose Bay. We'll grab the current weather. It's shifting and changing. Looks like the freezing fog is gone, but there's some mist. It's still minus 6 degrees. I'll put the weather into the chat there. Winds have died right down, so it looks like we're just sitting with cloud cover over the airfield at the moment. There's some clouds at 200 feet, broken at 500, overcast at 2,000. So it looks like we'll be going right down to minimums on the arrival. We'll see how the sim renders it when we get there. Barrow is the big thing, 2974. We'll get that in and ready. So let's go down. We'll take a look at what we are doing for our approach. I'll just bring up the charts here. Alright, so as you can see, we are on our way into the 55 North, 61 West waypoint, coming down over the outer edge of Canada. Then we're then going to turn slightly further south, heading down towards the bay here. As you can see, we're going to come in here at Throttle and then Badger. This will give us a nice long approach in over Happy Valley in the Goose Bay area to land on runway 26. We're going to stick with the big runway just because of visibility and everything, and we'll be coming in over the water this way, so don't have to worry about issues with terrain. So that is the plan for our arrival in, and we are looking good right now. We're about 160 odd miles out from the airport itself as it stands. So we've got the destination weather arrival data. We can pop down here now. We're going to come in. We're going to do flaps 40 landing. That'll give us a reference speed of 124, which is all good. Fuel is looking good as well. Landing altitude for Goose Bay is 160 feet. I think we have 150 in. We do. We'll just leave that there then. And that is all good for that. Radios are set. We're still on 122.8 and we are on 121.5 over there on Honeycomb. It's an RNAV we're doing, so we're not going to need the ILS. However, let's see if there's anything there. We don't have any beacons or anything at the airfield, unfortunately. So nothing we can do. We can use the the ILS. We'll use the Goose Bay VOR, which is offset about 8 miles away, but it'll at least give us a range. So that's 1173. We'll dial that in. Oh, excellent, Christian. That is fantastic. If you want to throw a link into the Discord, appreciate it, and I'll grab it and give it a shot. So there's the ILS is tuned in. We should get that on VOR1 once we get in. All right. So that is looking good. My chart set up there. So engine anti-ice, we'll probably turn it on when we get heading down into the clouds. There are quite a lot of them. Recall is clear, as I mentioned. Fuel is good. MCP is set, and we're fine there. Well, we'll just turn our heading bug over just so that we're ready to go. Airport's coming in there. We're going to descend down probably all the way down to our minimum, so that's going to be a altitude of 300 feet. Minimums are going to be 353, which we will set radar because we're going right down. We'll see how that goes. So we'll set 300, but we'll take over probably before that. So that is set. Altimeters, we've got minimums. Again, we're going to go radio. For this one. And we're going to set 200 feet. And we got a few clouds at 200 feet, so it's going to, thanks Christian, it's going to hopefully take us right down to minimums. So midst approach, we do a left turn and climbing it to 3200 and go to Talov and enter the hold. Auto brakes, we'll go auto brakes 2. Again, we got a long runway, so that will be good. And altimeter is set. So our pre-descent checks are all done. We're about 38 miles to the top of descent. And as you can see, the clouds are starting to build a bit. And again, we can expect a overcast layer at 2,000 feet. So we will put the anti-ice on as we come down through that. Again, with -6 and mist, it means there's moisture in the air. So we'll have to watch for icing. So we'll make sure it's on as we come in. We'll make a, we don't have a arrival here, so we'll make a call when we leave flight level 380. And then we'll make the calls as appropriate as we come in. We're going to be descending just after that next waypoint. And First Officer Molly has been outside. She's had breakfast and some water, and she's currently curled up on the floor behind me, enjoying the flight. Definitely getting into a more cloudy area out here. Yeah, not a lot in the way of nav aids out this way anymore. There we are. We're picking up the VOR 121 miles. Again, it is offset from the airport by about 5-7 miles. So I'd heard there was an update to the A300. I did a check and I didn't see anything, but I just noticed there's a news article has come out saying that they've released an update. So I'm wondering if it'll now be up in the Inabuild's app. I will check that. Haven't flown the aircraft yet. Should be interesting. Kevin, were you reading the messages Christian was putting up about the mod for LOD? Alright, so we're 5 miles to go from the next waypoint, 9 miles to go to our top of descent. We are all set, VNAV path, altitude is set, heading we've aligned with our current, and speed will, when we get down to about 270, we'll lock it in there for the descent. There we are, engines are retarding, and we are starting down. Goose Bay area traffic, Air Canada 5556, leaving flight level 380, inbound RNAV 26, Goose Bay. So while we head down, let's do our quick rings here. So we're gonna go Charlie Yankee Papa. No, we're not. We're gonna go Charlie Yankee Romeo. Then we're gonna go 4 mile, 10 mile rings, and then we're gonna do the extended center line, which would be 075. Go. And those indicators are now in. That's the line, the 000 line off of the VOR that we put in. There's the speed coming up, so we're going to switch over. We'll hold 280. All right, Christian, hangover from yesterday. What was yesterday? Office party? Let's go to world. Bring up the daytime. There we go. There's where we're headed. See why I went with the further out waypoint, just to get that speed under control as we come down. Alright, we are looking good. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Navigraph and these errors I keep getting, but it is what it is. Alright, there's 26,000 feet coming up. Let's get the seatbelts on in the back.
Gentlemen, the seatbelt sign is now turned on, so it is time to return to your seats and fasten your seatbelt.
Alright, we're going to switch over to transition now, since we're going to be passing through. Let the aircraft resettle itself to change. just doing that. Well, so 270. $65 miles from the VOR. Matt Christian, I see the link you put back in the Discord. Thank you very much. We'll give that a try. Speaking of which, as we descend down, you can come over to the Discord. We have lots of people there willing to help, give advice and everything, and you can see what we're flying, when and where. All of our flights are community flights when we do live streams, so we're either on VATSIM such as today or on multiplayer as we will be tomorrow. You can come along, you can fly with us, you can find out where we are in the world, what aircraft we're flying, and you can also get help. So consider coming over to the Discord and joining us there. Links are in the description below. Also, please consider subscribing, hitting the like button, leaving comments. All that stuff helps the channel, helps us grow, and allows us to keep expanding. If you really want to help what we do and support the channel, you can consider subscribing for the price of a latte per month. Helps us get new aircraft sceneries and everything like that that we can show off for you and hopefully be able to learn and answer any questions that you have. As we fly around the world and everything from GA airplanes to the big airliners. So, coming up, as you can see, we're just going to come down to the end of the inlet here and then fly in. I can start seeing the water over there. Some pretty decent cloud cover coming up. Turn on the terrain radar now. Switch over to 40 miles as we come in. Still wishing we had weather radar. I don't think we're ever going to get weather radar in 2020. Maybe 2024. All right, speed's hanging nicely around that 274 mark as we're coming down. 44 miles roughly from the airport. Once again, 10,000 feet will slow to 245, which allows us to put a 5 degree of flap. Help a bit with the speed control. Down below the level of the clouds here. See that overcast layer. Minus 5 degrees, definitely moisture in the air. So we'll get the anti-ice on. There's 14,000 feet. It's 245, so we're going to need the speed brake to get us down there. 12,000. Speed brake out. Start slowing us down. We're going to hit that deceleration point anyway, but that's fine.
We have begun our final descent into your destination. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to collect any trash one final time. Please ensure tray tables are stowed and seats are in the full upright position. Please also store any carry-on items either in the seat back pocket or under the seat in front of you. Please complete all Wi-Fi related tasks and stow any larger electronics.
Alright, there's the level off. We'll get that speed back. There we go. 250 knots. Flaps 1. We're going to go flaps 5. Flaps 2. And flaps 5. And down we go again. Coming through 10,000 feet. So we have landing lights on, turn off lights are on, logo and wing lights are on. Looking good. Go out. We'll be at 4,600, about 6,000 feet. We're going to go down to 200 knots. That'll start us slowing down, and at 210 we can drop 10-degree flaps. Looking good. 14 miles. Not sure where Kevin's headed. Kevin, what runway are you going for? You appear to be going different than I am. You going for 15? Is there no... There is. Oh, it's 2.6, okay. Not a lot of outdoor, not a lot of terminal area gates, just a bunch of different parking areas. See where we end up on the east side of the field. – 7,000 feet. Alright, we're 10 miles. We're going to start slowing down. 200 knots. At 210, we'll go flaps 10. We'll probably exit it. Charlie. And we're looking good. We do have land and hold short areas, but those are not in operation at the moment for us. It's 210 knots, so flaps 10. And we come down to 185 for our final turn. It's 5,000 feet. Alright, altimeter, set cabin pressures, landing lights, run, turn off lights, run. That is all done. Now, of course, some frequency not required. Speeds are within limits. Speed brakes are retracted and armed. Auto brakes set to 2. And we'll approach mode once we make the turn. There's the overcast cloud layer coming up. Approach mode armed, final approach course and glide path armed, final approach course capture. I'm gonna go dual G. Okay, go dual. I'm just gonna stick with Command A, single channel. Oh. I don't know what that flash was. Alright, working our way around. Currently 15 miles out. Coming into the overcast layer. Alright, so lights are all on, engines go to continuous, anti-ice is on, it's gear and flaps. Now look at that cloud. And there's the water, but more cloud ahead. Goose Bay area traffic, Air Canada 5556, established on the RNAV runway 26, 13 miles. Glide path coming in. There's 10 miles. Speed coming back to 165. And there's 9 miles, 180, gear down. Gear down 3 green, flaps 15. Speeds down below 170, flaps 25.
2500.
Glide path capture. 7 miles. So we got 124, we're going to be landing at 129 as our approach. Into the clouds we go. Hold this till 6 miles. 6 miles, so we'll bring our speed back to 129. It's 124, which is our reference, plus 5. Once us through the overcast, there's the terrain, and somewhere out there is the runway. Speed below 160, flaps 30. flaps full. Flaps full, gear down 3, green, lights are on, cabin is notified. Recall clear. Looking for the runway. So there's the community coming up. Like some buildings. Oh, there, just make out the runway ahead. Alright, so there's the runway, 1,300 feet. I'm on the 12-3 RNAV GNSS runway 26, the D&D charts. I'm on the LPV approach. But as you can see, we're over 1,000 feet and I've already got the runway in sight, so shouldn't be an issue for you. 1,000 to go. Aircraft is stable, full flaps, gear down. I guess there was no community there, it was just lakes and houses, couldn't tell with the cloud cover. Feet. I have control. Looking good. Winds are non-existent, as mentioned.
Approaching minimums. Minimums.
Continue.
Bay traffic Northern 797, currently overhead Labrabor, we're inbound for the RNF limit to 624,900.
50, 30, 20, 10.
And we're down, ooh, nice. Almost on the center line. There's Bravo, reverser's up. Reverser's full. $80 knots, 70 knots, reverser's off, reverser's stowed, manual brakes, and here is Charlie.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached our destination. The local time is 12:19 p.m. and it's currently about -6 degrees Celsius. You can now use your mobile devices. Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign is turned off. Remember to use caution when opening the overhead bins as items may have shifted during the flight.
Speed brakes off, flaps up, lights, taxi lights, APU starting, ignition switches off, strobe lights off, wing lights off, anti-ice off, and transponder, you stand by. Goose Bay area traffic, Skyways 5556, clear runway 26 at Charlie, taxiing to the apron number 4, ramp position 41. Ourselves around. We're going to head out to the other side of the terminal.
On the left and guidance for the RNAV made to 6, currently 9 miles.
So it wasn't as bad as it was made out to be on the METARs. Still had that overcast layer, but didn't get a lot of the lower cloud. Would have been nice to come in here the way it was when we started the stream. It was 200-foot ceiling with freezing drizzle. Would have been interesting to see. Alright, APU is up and running, so we'll turn on the APU bleeds. Should see Kevin Lutz shortly off in the distance there as he comes in. We're just going to head around to the other side of the buildings here and find a spot. Over stand 41, if I can identify it. It's let's see if that well, listen, there's Kevin there. I mean, I don't know where the terminals are here. There's not much showing. Maybe there, but I'm not being shown any parking spots there. We'll work our way around here. We're going over here on the other side of the buildings here. People can take buses. Drop down onto Gulf. And yeah, big open area over there is where we're headed. There's Kevin coming in. Yeah, I know I got both air bleeds on. Probably kill the engine bleeds then. Alright, we're gonna head over to Juliet and make the turn. See that VOR there? It's not as far away as I thought. 3 miles off in that direction. Turn that off as well. And so we're going to park over here. And, actually we're going to park over here, I guess.
Super traffic now there, and 797 clear on runway 26 at altitude parking. 4s or so, taxiing via the apron and hotel.
Alright, so we're going into 3B parking area. Looks like they've got it set up differently. Not sure which way they want us around. Might have been the other way. Hey, the joys of GSX. Maybe they wanted us over here. I don't know. We will go right here. Alright, brakes are set. Let's get down here and get our chocks and ground power in. Ground power is on. There it is. Get the lights on. Let's pop down here now. Fuel control levers are off. Fire truck coming because I ran the guy over probably. Anti-collision light for the ground equipment is coming in. We'll kill the fuel pumps except for the one running the APU. Isolation valve. We'll go to open. Engine leads are off. Flight directors are off. And we can have them yeah, just revoke. I don't care. I don't know where I am. Don't really care. We'll just leave it like that. And here we are. Oh, let's get the taxi light off. And we are good. Thank y'all for coming along. We're back tomorrow in the 747-8 freighter. We'll be starting our stream at 1400 Zulu. And we have a 12-hour flight ahead of us from Sao Paulo, Brazil to Las Vegas, Nevada. Hope to see you there. Take care, everybody. Kevin, thanks for flying along. Thanks, guys, for being in chat. And we will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.